Well, greetings and salutations, test takers. This is the Series 7 Guru coming to you from my off-grid studio, getting our kicks on historic Route 66 with an explication request. If you have an explication request, you can send it to explicationrequest@guruexamprep.com. One of your customers is in a 37% federal income tax bracket. As a test taker, the minute you see the tax bracket, you should be thinking munis somehow, some way, right? So this looks like it's setting up to either be tax-free equivalent yield, where we take a taxable yield and we figure out what the tax-free equivalent would be, or setting up to be taxable equivalent yield, where we take a tax-free yield and compare what that would be the equivalent to taxable. Both of them very testable on all FINRA NAS exams, with the exception of the 63. So I'll put this in all playlists, and I'll link to a video that I have that goes over both scenarios. All right, onward with the question. The customer prefers purchasing corporate bonds, taxable bonds, over muni bonds, tax-free bonds, because the corporation's financials are much easier to understand. That could be true. I mean, on the customer's next purchase, the instructions are to find a corporate taxable bond. I'm ad-libbing a little bit, that will yield the same after-tax return that would be received from a muni with a 3.20 coupon. The bond you suggest must have a coupon of. I like this question in this regard. It's kind of like a convertible, where they don't write out, ask you what is parity. You kind of say as a test take, oh, I bet this is about parity. Same here. They don't actually mention taxable equivalent or tax-free equivalent, but that's how that's setting up to be. I like this as a suitability question because very rarely do we get suitability questions or math. So what we're being asked to do here is find a tax equivalent yield to the tax-free yield. Very, again, testable. The formula for this is we're going to take the tax-free yield and we're going to divide by 100% minus the tax bracket. You can have one if you want, or 100%. The way I think of this is, of every 100 cents or every dollar I have, the government is confiscating 37%, 37 cents, if you will. So that's how I think of that. And when we do that, we will get the taxable equivalent yield, which is the answer to the question. All right, so our yield without taxes is 3.20. We're going to take 100% minus the tax bracket, which in this case is 37%. So I can think of that mathematically as either 63% or 0.63. So I take 3.20, I divide by 0.63, 63 cents of a dollar, 63% of a dollar is kind of the same math. We end up with a answer to the question, which is 5.08. So that would be what we would need taxable. That's the taxable equivalent yield to 3.20 tax-free. All right, I hope you found that was helpful. This is math I would be prepared to do, either going from tax-free to taxable equivalent as we did here, or going the other direction, taxable to tax-free equivalent. And I will link to that lecture. Remember, inch by inch, tax-free and taxable equivalent yields are a cinch. Yard by yard, they're hard, and I will see you for the next explication request.